That same system is making its way to us right now. We don't expect destruction anywhere near close to what we have seen to our west, but Monroe County is asking residents to avoid unnecessary travel tonight. In a tweet, the sheriff's office says there is no power in North Chili right now. Eric Sneidel, there are thousands without power in the Rochester area tonight.
Tens of thousands, in fact, starting to show up here. And this is a live shot of Rochester here tonight. And the fact that you can see some twinkling lights there, a good thing. Not everybody is so lucky with all those power outages, but even this camera's got a little bounce to it as those winds continue to gust. In fact, just off screen here, it looks like Rochester just registered a brand new wind gust back to 60 miles an hour. That's a sustained wind at the airport of 33 miles an hour. So you certainly understand why we've got all these issues with power outages. Satellite and radar. This is one of those events where a lot of times you get these high winds that come in. You've got rain, you've got snow that accompanies it. Very little of that. There's been a lot of dry air on the backside of this, but the precious little that is showing up, and this is important, this tells us something. I'm going to throw the velocity on this, and you see the pinks and the oranges that show up. Those teeny tiny raindrops are zipping along at about 70 miles an hour just above our heads. That is what we're concerned about getting back down to the surface. Max wind gusts up to this point so far. 58 at the airport, but again, it looks like we just touched 60. Brockport has been to 60. The north side of Greece near Edgemere has been to 62. This is the big one, and this is amazing. Batavia registered a 76-mile-an-hour gust. You go back west to Buffalo, they did a 74-mile-an-hour gust. And I want to show you this. This was video John Kutchko took earlier this afternoon as this cold front went by. He was just on the south side of Buffalo. It started like that. After the cold front came by, it did not end that way. You see all those storms racing on in. Watch the waters just become incredibly choppy. I mean, this looks like a scene from a movie, and it happened in the span of about 10 to 15 minutes with those 70-plus mile-an-hour winds. Now, that's Buffalo. What about here in Rochester? We've got our own Eriquetta Cost, who is out in downtown Rochester right now. Eriquetta, where are you? And more importantly, what are you seeing on this very windy night?
Well, good evening. I'm downtown right by the Liberty Pole, and observations first off, very windy. I'll have you look at some of the trees. You can see the lights on them, so you can see they've been moving, and every now and then we'll get a huge gust, and you can just feel it in your face. It's loud, it's powerful, shaking the trees, flag poles. There was a little rain here and there, but it definitely got cold fast. It was warmer throughout the day. Around 2 p.m., we noticed that temperature started to change, winds increasing. Now remember, Monroe County is urging residents, if you come across a light that seems to be down, treat it as a four-way stop. Winds are starting to pick up, and we did speak to RG&E and National Guard about their preparation for this and potential outages that we've already been seeing outages. RG&E has 1,800 line and tree crews ready to go for the weekend across the state, with 500 of those right here ready to respond with those outages. National Grid has around 2,500 field force members across upstate New York as well. They'll be looking for damage. Specifically down power lines right by the lakeshore is an area of major concern. David Bertola with the National Guard says you can never predict how many outages are likely to occur, but you can be prepared.
Make sure you have fresh batteries and flashlights, and make sure that you have your phones charged and things of that nature ready to go. If you see a down power line, always assume it's carrying live power, and never touch it. You could always dial 911. If you're operating a generator, make sure it's operated outdoors to prevent the buildup of carbon monoxide. And before operating one, make sure to disconnect from the system by shutting off the main breaker, located usually in the basement.
Now, the storm is expected to die down early Sunday morning. Monroe County is advising residents to stay inside if you don't have to go outside. Avoid that unnecessary travel. Just standing here, I can feel my feet are starting to rise, and I'm about to be blown away. It's very, very intense, so be careful if you go outside if you have to. We're hearing some outages and trees down, especially in the western parts of Monroe County, like Greece, Brockport. We'll be following up with those throughout the night and check back in later at 11. Eric?